What strategies can you use to manage your anxiety when you're just feeling anxious with one-on-one conversations? Let's face it, there are some conversations that are nerve-wracking. One-on-one job interviews, perhaps a first date, a boss confronting you about something you've done that they're not happy with. These are all things that, if you're a normal human being, create anxiety. The first thing you need to do is to really listen and try to fight that impulse to think of what you're going to say next. So much of what makes us anxious is we put pressure on ourselves to say the perfect thing or be witty or to have the perfect comeback or the perfect defense. You don't have to. You're going to be much less anxious if you can be in the moment. You need to actually listen to that person carefully, because if you go into a job interview and the person says, "So tell me about yourself," and the first thing you're thinking is, "Oh no, I hate this question. I hate talking about myself. This is going to be awful. I'm going to flunk." It's only going to make you more anxious. So you need to really listen intently. Make sure you're picking up on every nuance of the questioner. Make sure that you are watching their body language. See if you can figure out how interested are they in this. Is there some nuance that might only come from their body language that you can't tell from just the words? As human beings, we communicate so much with our voice, with our hands, with our movements. So the first step is to just be in the moment and listen. It's a type of mindfulness. And yes, it's easier for me to say this than for you to do it in that moment. But give yourself permission to not have any great thought. Give yourself permission to not have to respond instantaneously. If you're having a conversation with someone, whether it's a job interview, a performance review, you can take a moment to think. You can take a second. You can take a couple seconds. They're not going to be angry with you. In fact, they'll probably respect you more because they figured out this person's actually listening to me. This person's actually thinking about what I just said. So not only will it not make you look bad in the eyes of the other person, it will make you look good. So just clear your mind and try to listen to that other person. That's the first step. The next step, give yourself a moment to actually think. And then the third step is focus on the idea you want to convey to that person. Where people get a mistake is they think, "Well, I've got to write this whole response out. They asked me, tell you about yourself, and I've got to get this whole paragraph out." No, you don't. Focus on one idea at a time. Say it in the first word that comes to you. Don't try to memorize big words. Don't try to use fancy words. Don't try to get it in a set order. But listen to the person respond and give them one good idea that you think represents your thought that could be interesting to them. And the whole time you need to be watching them. Do they look like they understand? Does it look like it makes sense to them? Does it look like they have a question? And don't just keep going on and on and on and on. Instead, give them time to respond. Give them time to ask a question. If you do that, you find that your anxiety in one-on-one conversations will go way, way down to the point where you can actually enjoy every conversation you're in.